love Jesus.
Apostolic Sunday School.
If you'd like to find this lesson fully written out, it is available on ApostolicSundaySchool.com. Just search under Object Lessons for Forgiveness or Weighted Backpack to access the details. This resource includes all the necessary steps, props, and teaching lessons for presenting the lesson effectively. Hey everybody, today I'm going to do a very different style of lesson. I'm not actually going to show you the lesson as much as just tell you about it. It's one that I did in class, and because I don't have everything, I don't have any volunteers with me, I'm just going to kind of explain you, walk you through it. I'll probably throw up some pictures while we're doing it. But the lesson was on forgiveness, not on God forgiving us, but rather us forgiving others. And we started it by talking about Matthew chapter 6, verse 12, the verse that says, "Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." Part of the Lord's Prayer, Jesus was teaching his disciples, and by extension us, on how to pray. In that, we're basically asking God to forgive us of all the things we've done in the same way that we have forgiven other people that have hurt us. So if I told someone that did something wrong to me, I said it's okay, and I meant it, then God can do the same for me when I mess up. So then I ask the kids, have you had anyone ever hurt you or hurt your feelings or do something that wasn't very nice? And of course they have. How did it make you feel? Is it easy to forgive someone that's hurt you? Well, forgiveness is something God asks us to do, but it can be really, really hard, especially when that person doesn't even apologize for what they did, or they continue to do it. That's when it's really messed up. At this point, I have a volunteer come up and I have them put on a backpack. And every time I mention one of these hurtful actions, I'm gonna add a weight to that backpack. For example, one of the things that might be hurtful is an insult. Imagine someone calls you a mean name, or friendship drama. You have arguments, feel excluded, you get left out. You're like the target of your friends, and they're talking trash about you behind your back. Broken promises. Someone promises you something and then doesn't follow through on it. Maybe feeling unappreciated, or in kids' terms, they feel unseen. They feel invisible, undervalued in a group. Sometimes they can feel overshadowed or dismissed, like they don't, nobody cares about them. Maybe bitterness, you can start feeling that. Betrayal of trust. Maybe you tell someone something and they promise to keep it secret and they don't. On and on. Well, with every one of these that I mention, I'm taking a weight and I'm putting it in the empty backpack. Well, it started off as empty, that volunteer is wearing. And every time something happens, I'm putting a heavier weight and a heavier weight into that backpack and adding to it. And they're having to carry all of that weight. And I tell them that every time we don't forgive, that weight stays with us. Holding on to that hurt and that bitterness, that unforgiveness, it doesn't just hurt the person that wronged you. It hurts us. It's like carrying all that extra weight around just because we can't forgive. That person that hurt us may have actually forgotten about it. Or maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care that they hurt us and they're not planning on saying they're sorry. But if we can't forgive, that weight is with us all the time. We have to keep carrying it. And you can tell the story about the unforgiving servant in Matthew chapter 18, about the king that forgave the servant the enormous debt, but then that same servant went out and couldn't forgive the person that owed him just a little bit. And so he was forgiven much, just the same way that God forgives us a whole lot of our sins, but we can't forgive someone that does something little to us. But forgiveness is about letting go of the weight. And finally, I let them take the weight out of the backpack when they forgive. Forgiveness is a choice. We tell them that it's not about ignoring the hurt or saying it's okay. It's a choice to let go of that bitterness and let it out. Holding on to it keeps us from being happy. It keeps us from peace. It keeps us from freedom. And we need to follow God's example in forgiveness. He forgave us fully. God forgave even the people that slapped him, that put him on a cross, that beat him, that cursed him, that yelled horrible things at him, that nailed him to a cross, and even eventually killed him. And he forgave them. And if God can forgive that, how could I not forgive someone that does something to me that in that scale is pretty small? So carrying around a backpack of weights is the same way as carrying around a big load of unforgiveness. You got to get rid of it. Empty that backpack and you'll feel so much lighter and free. Simple lesson, but I hope it helps. God bless. We'll see ya.